In 2022, I sold everything, left Toronto, and started volunteering my way across Ecuador. No hotels, no resorts, no tourist bubble. Just showing up, doing volunteer work, and letting the country and culture reveal themselves in their own time. Right now, I'm doing something I had never expected to be doing. Currently doing a victory lap around the country, revisiting some of my favorite hosts and some of my favorite places and communities. Because after 3.5 years of volunteering down here, those connections are real. A lot of the time when I leave a volunteer gig and I'm heading out to do whatever, more travel or go to a different gig, my host will say, "It's been a pleasure having you here. You are welcome to come back anytime you want or as long as you want." That doesn't happen when you're staying in hotels. It doesn't happen on a 2-week vacation. It doesn't happen when you're on a resort. It happens because you put in the time and effort to make these connections and make serving, volunteering, a priority. This is what volunteering on the road long term actually looks like. And it's why I would choose to do it every single time. Hola y bienvenidos amigos. Hello and welcome friends. Steve here, Street Smart Travel, coming at you from Cuenca, still down here at the Otorongo Apartments, and today another video about volunteering. Gotten a lot of questions and comments about volunteering, so if you want more information, there's 2 playlists that are set up on the channel, probably 3 really, but the on the ground volunteering playlist, more nuts and bolts, that'll give you the basics about how you can start volunteering. The benefits of volunteering is another playlist. I'll link to that below. It covers it in a bit of a different angle, and then I think I have a couple videos in a volunteering projects playlist. So what volunteering actually is: it's not charity, it's not free labor, and it's not roughing it. Essentially, I'm exchanging my skills, my experience, my labor for room and board. And I get comments occasionally from people that say, well, if you're getting something in exchange for volunteering, that's not really volunteering. And yet when I ask them, okay, what do you do for volunteering and how do you do it? Crickets. There's never a response. A lot of the places I volunteered at are way up in the sticks. There's no hotels, there's no restaurants, there's no stores, there's no anything. There's no other way than to stay on site. And because I'm volunteering, they give me free room and board. It varies a little bit, but it's always an exchange of value. It's not an exchange of currency. This is the big difference. Now, at the end of this video, if you want to check it out, I will leave a link to the organization that I volunteer through. In my 4th year with them now, 3.5 years, they are in 170 plus countries around the world. So they have a really good reach. And I just fell into it. Wasn't part of a master plan when I came down here. I was looking for something to do. And for me, volunteering continues to be a perfect fit. Volunteering has given me the ability to vastly improve my Spanish skills because I put myself in situations where my hosts only speak Spanish. They don't speak English. It's put me in immersion experiences where I'm living in someone's house, on someone's property, working with them, sharing meals with them, doing excursions, being a part of their community. And I've had some incredible hosts and incredible experiences. So if you're thinking about coming out on the road, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll share with you exactly how I do it, the organization I do it through. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please check out those playlist videos I mentioned. And if I don't answer your question in there, then reach out. I'm happy to share any information I can for anybody that wants to come out on the road and do something similar. I'm on a victory lap this year. I'm revisiting hosts and communities and places that were highlights for me over my time here in the last 3.5 years. But most of the time, when I leave a volunteer gig, the hosts tell me, "It's been great having you here. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. Anytime you want to come back, you are welcome." I've had people tell me, "You're part of the community. This is your home. You can stay here as long as you want. You're welcome to come back here anytime." This was not on my radar when I first started volunteering down here in Ecuador. And I'm looking forward to rolling out this system and the volunteering across multiple other countries in different parts of the world over the next few years. Now, these are connections that you can't buy. These connections are created over time by building trust and rapport with your hosts over multiple visits. I was recently in the Amazon, and my host reached out unannounced. Hey, can you help me do some translation work on a 3-day, 2-night trip deep into the Amazon, places that most people are never ever going to see. Those kinds of things don't happen often, but it would never happen if I was staying in hostels or hotels or Airbnbs even. This is the kind of connection you can make when you have a desire to serve and to get to know people. Here in Cuenca, I found a yoga studio. I've been going for classes a couple times a week now, and as it turns out, the family running it is also, like me, from Toronto. Total coincidence. And we've had multiple conversations after classes talking about how much more we enjoy life down here versus life in Canada. I also get to plug into the expat communities. And here in Cuenca, I'm going to do a separate video. This will be Finding Community in Cuenca Part 2. Gotten to plug into some different expat communities. And if you're wanting to come out, especially down here to Cuenca, and you're kind of worried, how am I going to make contact with people? In that video, I'll outline how I did it and how anybody can do it. These connections are forged over multiple visits, forged through common interests, and they all came about through volunteering. That wasn't my plan when I came down here. It wasn't even on my radar. But over the last 3.5 years, it has been my primary mode of travel and living down here in Ecuador. And it continues to be a fantastic experience, making connections in different communities, getting a full cultural immersion, and having an amazing time traveling through Ecuador and South America. There's a lot of upsides to volunteering as well. Service is the main thrust, but when you look at what you get in return, for me, it's ridiculous. Lower costs. Generally, you're getting full room and board. So I exchange my skills and experience and labor in exchange for a place to stay and food. It's a little bit different. Some places, like here, they provide an apartment and no food. Fair enough. I've got a whole apartment, self-contained. I got a kitchen. I can go to the market, spend $15 a week, and I'm good. Like, a place to stay and food are by far my biggest expenses on the road. So when I'm volunteering, those expenses disappear. And the most popular video on the channel so far, by a wide margin, is one that I posted last year, where I spent the entire year down here in Ecuador on less than 2,000 US dollars. Now, that's extreme. It took me 3 years to refine my system so I could do that. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could do that, and I did. Not sure I'll repeat it, but $2,500, $3,000, when room and board is covered, that doesn't really leave a lot that you need to come out of pocket for. Also, flexibility, hugely important for me. So when I came down here to Cuenca, when I first arrived in 2022 and talked to the immigration lawyer, and she said, yeah, you have papers, you can work. If you want, you can get a job down here. Like, well, I just retired, I really don't want a job. But what if I do volunteering? Can I do that? Is that going to interfere with my ability to complete this residency program? Like, no, of course you can. You can do anything as long as it's legal. Like, okay. It's exactly the kind of thing I would expect a lawyer to say. And that's what I've been doing. And volunteering has been amazing, and it's super flexible. Sometimes I can extend, sometimes I decide, okay, I'm ready to move on. Sometimes I take a break from volunteering. If I have a job, I don't have that kind of flexibility built in. The biggest one for me is a deeper cultural immersion. I'm living with people, I'm sharing meals with them, we're hanging out, I'm getting to know their community, we sometimes go on excursions, and get to really know people on that basis. You can talk about things that are not just superficial. You can get into some pretty heavy conversations about life, the universe, and everything. That is priceless. I never got that experience staying in hostels or hotels or Airbnbs or resorts, any of that stuff. The cultural immersion piece, being able to get to know people, get to know their culture, get to improve my Spanish skills, like, that's been priceless. There's also a lot of unexpected opportunities that come up as you get to know your hosts and you build rapport, and there's a trust that's built over repeated visits. My recent time in the Amazon, I got videos about that on the channel where I was a translator on these tours. I felt like I was on tour. Literally, I think I did 7 different tours, about 10 days in the 14 days that I stayed down there. It was ridiculous. By far, the best highlight from my time in Ecuador so far, and one of the best memories that I have over at least the last 10 years of my life. They needed help with their business. I got to have this amazing experience repeatedly and see parts of the Amazon and visit Kichwa communities and places that I never would have had access to any other way. Because I've been here so long, I'm reconnecting with expats here in the community, the Frisbee Friday group, language exchanges. I get to find these things more easily as I get to spend more time in a place and get more connected to the community. Again, something that wouldn't happen in a hostel or a hotel, at least not in my experience. So those are some of the many volunteer benefits. Tourism shows you what a place looks like. Volunteering shows you how it actually works. The people, the rhythms, the culture, the communities, all of it. All of that lives beneath the surface. You need to engage with that. I wouldn't have these experiences if I wasn't living and working with locals and expats down here in Ecuador. That time in the Amazon, that 2.5 weeks, I think I did 6 or 7 different tours, and literally I felt like I was on vacation. Those aren't cheap either. Like $90 a day, and I was doing them as a volunteer for free. Amazing experience. The hosts that tell you to stay longer, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. I'm at the Otorongo Apartments right now in Cuenca. The first time I reached out to my hosts, they were new to the platform. We agreed on 2 weeks, and I said I'm available if you have more stuff to do. And they said, well, let's see. And after my first full day here, they came up to me and said, you can stay here as long as you want. And when I arranged to come back this time, they said you have to stay at least a month and ideally 2 months or longer. We have a place, we got stuff for you to do, we would love for you to stay here. These are the kinds of people that I've met over the last 3.5 years of doing volunteer work down here in Ecuador. Something else, when I make a trip back to Canada, which I do a couple times a year, I store the stuff that I need down here with a host or now a friend, which means I don't have to pay an obscene amount of money to put all my stuff on the plane and have my clothes take a plane ride so that I can bring them back here. I won't even open my bags when I'm in Canada. But without those connections, I would be paying hundreds of dollars every time I get on a plane to take all my stuff with me. Because I have connections down here and contacts and friends now, I can arrange to leave my stuff with them and come back and pick it up and do more volunteer work along the way. That's priceless. After volunteering for 3.5 years and currently doing the victory lap that's still ongoing, I wouldn't trade that for anything. The organization that I do volunteer work with, they're in 170 countries worldwide. And if you're interested in doing that kind of thing, that's Workaway. I will leave a link below, and full disclosure, this is my referral link. So if you sign up for Workaway, using this link, they extend my membership. I didn't have any plans to do this when I came down here. I just sort of fell into it, and I've managed to make it work really well for the last 3.5 years. I'm looking at taking it further afield to Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, and beyond over the next year. Do check out those playlists, the On the Ground volunteering series, and I have another playlist, I think it's called The Benefits of Volunteering. Those give you enough information that you could start volunteering tomorrow. All the stuff you need is in there. If you have any additional questions, please hit me up. I'm happy to share what I've been doing, how I've been doing it. This is available to anybody that wants to take it on. And again, you don't need to be on the road. You could do this closer to home if you want. People need volunteers all over the world. So it's been a great fit for me. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Please look into it, Workaway or otherwise, and reap the benefits of getting out there and serving people in meaningful ways. It's been life-changing, and I can't see myself doing anything but this for the next few years at least. Thanks for stopping by. Happy trails. See you out on the road next week.